So, this video exists because one of the questions I often get is, what is the best 3D printer for kids? And honestly, rather than answer that manually another 1,000 times, I thought it might be better to just make this video and then everyone can find it. And I get it, your kid is asking you for a 3D printer. Maybe they want an eternal toy maker. Maybe they want to get into the hobby of 3D printing. Maybe they have interests in the engineering side of machines and want to modify, change, or upgrade one. No matter the case, we as parents can all be certain of one thing. Eventually, our kids find a way to get what they want, as mine now has after spending months asking me if she can use 3D printers and make a YouTube video. So here she is, in my version of Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, in her own words that I then rewrote.
Shut up, Dad. This is my channel now. Hi, I'm Ellie and this is FauxHammer Videos. If you need my credentials, just read the shirt. Right, proper intro. I'm 10 right now. By the time you watch this, I'll probably be 11. I'm pretty sensible, I follow instructions, I don't do obviously stupid stuff. Dad says that's the minimum requirement for operating machinery. About 6 weeks ago, I was just a kid stealing his phone and begging to use one of his printers. Now I run one of my own. I download models, I use the slicer, I change sizes and colours, I start prints, and even fix small problems myself. So if your kid is asking for a printer, I'm basically what happens if you say yes. Give or take their maturity level. That's your call. First, quick basics. There are two kinds of 3D printers. Resin printers are the super detailed ones. They're also messy, smelly, and full of dangerous chemicals. Dad won't even let me near those, so that's a hard no. They should be used by parents only. Maybe you can let your kid paint the models you print, not eat them. Then there's FDM printers. They melt plastic and build stuff layer by layer. They're cleaner, way easier, and much more normal person friendly. That's what we're talking about today. We're using this Snapmaker U1 as an example, because this video is sponsored by them. We bought this printer and they're paying us to make this video. We still say what we actually think. We're just showing the machine while we do it. So, what is a 3D printer, really? It's basically a tiny plastic factory. You give it a digital model. A few hours later, you get a real object that you can hold. Still feels like a bit of magic, to be honest. You can download loads of models online already. Toys, figures, tools, random useless junk, all the important stuff. Or later you can design your own things. That's when you start feeling clever. To print something, you use a program called a slicer. You load the models in, pick your settings, and press slice. The software turns it into instructions. The printer just follows these instructions and builds it up in thin layers. It's basically a very slow, very precise hot glue gun that never gets bored. Okay, safety bit. Because parents will absolutely ask about this first. These machines make toys, but they are not toys themselves. They get hot, very hot. The nozzle is over 200 degrees, so yeah, instant regret if you touch it. The bed gets hot too. That's the bit that the models sit on while being printed. And the head moves around pretty fast. So the rule is simple, hands out while it's printing. Or they can just get crushed. Pause it first, then touch safely. Same logic as a kettle or oven, or literally anything in a kitchen. You don't need to panic about it, just don't be daft. If your kid understands don't grab hot things, they should be fine. But it's on you as the parent to make that call. We print with PLA plastic. That's the basic stuff everyone uses. Dad still keeps the printer in the office instead of my bedroom. Mostly because fumes of melting plastic next to my face all night is probably not ideal. So yeah, treat it like a tool, not a toy, and it's completely fine. Next thing parents don't realise. These usually arrive in big boxes and need some building. They are rarely finished machines. This one definitely needed some assembly. Dad basically dumped the box on the table and said,
Go on then, crack on.
Which felt slightly irresponsible, but I'm used to him by now. And it was quite fun. It's actually a lot like Lego, just heavier, and slightly more expensive, but even that can be argued. It took a couple of hours as I watched a video guide on how to build it. He helped with lifting and tightening stuff. I mostly just watched to make sure I didn't accidentally invent modern art. So it's not hands-off parenting. You're still there, but it's more like building something together, which is actually pretty nice. And once it's built, it needs a proper home. A sturdy desk, not the floor, not under your bed, and not buried under toys and jumpers. Because once it's set up, it kind of just lives there. Once it's built, you can finally print stuff, which is the fun part. Most normal printers have one tool head. That's the bit that melts the plastic and draws the shape. So you get one colour at a time. If you want multiple colours, it has to swap the plastic back and forth. It pulls one out, pushes another in, and then back again. Every time it swaps, it wastes a bit, because there's always old melted plastic still inside the nozzle. So it has to squeeze that out first, which means blobs and waste and lots of waiting. If you do loads of colour changes, you can end up with a sad little pile of plastic spaghetti next to your print, which Dad calls the bin of shame. This printer does it differently. It has 4 tool heads, so instead of constantly swapping plastic, it just swaps the heads. It's like the printer going, hang on, outfit change, then it carries on printing. It's quicker, way less waste, and honestly just cooler to watch. But it's more expensive because of that, which is why Dad keeps reminding me it's not a toy. Loading filament is easy too. You stick the reel on the side and press load. It feeds itself in. Some printers make you heat the nozzle and manually shove the plastic through, which feels like trying to thread spaghetti into a needle. This is much nicer. Once it's loaded, you press print and off it goes. First time I watched it, I just stood there staring. It's weirdly hypnotizing, like a tiny robot doing arts and crafts. Then there's the computer side, which sounded scary at first. I'm young, I'm used to tablets and phones, but honestly, it's fine. If your kid can use YouTube and download Minecraft mods, they can probably figure this out with a bit of guidance. You open the slicer, drag your model in, pick your material, usually PLA, and leave most of the settings alone. Dad's main advice was basically, don't get clever. Just use the defaults, they exist for a reason. Press slice, send it to the printer, done. Later, you learn extra stuff, like supports, which are basically little scaffolding bits. Because plastic can't print in midair, gravity still exists, sadly. So if something is floating, you add supports underneath. The slicer even tells you most of the time, so it's not like you're guessing. At the start, I needed loads of help, like constant. Dad, how do you load this? Dad, what's this button? Dad, why is it making spaghetti? But after a week or two, it just clicked. Now I do almost everything myself. I download files, resize them, add supports, swap colours, and start prints. Dad mostly checks in and makes sure I haven't crashed it into itself. So yeah, kids absolutely can learn this, probably faster than you realise. We're not helpless, we just need showing. Okay, now the bit parents really want to know. What is this actually like to live with? Because it's not an instant toy machine. Prints take ages, not minutes, hours, sometimes days. So you can't go, I want a thing, and have it 5 minutes later. It's more like plan it, start it, wait, which weirdly teaches patience against my will. Also, prints fail sometimes. That's normal. Sometimes it messes up and you can get a pile of plastic noodles. It happens to everyone, even Dad. Especially Dad. So there will be a bit of troubleshooting. At the start, that's mostly you. Sorry. You become first line tech support. You will hear, Mom, it's broken. Dad, help. Even when it absolutely isn't. But after the first few prints, that drops off loads. It's like learning to ride a bike. Wobbly at first. Then suddenly, we're gone and you're not needed anymore. Sorry parents, we grow up. Enjoy your time with us while you can.
I'm going to jump in here and say this is exactly why I'm making this video with you. Because one of us is having fun.
Also, and this is important, kids mostly print nonsense. Flexi dragons, fidget toys, random figures, stuff their friends ask for. It's not all educational engineering projects. Sometimes it's plastic bunnies. Actually, it's always plastic bunnies. But with...
Thought you'd like that.
I love bunnies. I love them. But without really noticing, we learn loads. How machines work, how software works, how to fix problems, and how to design things. It sneaks learning in, which is quite rude, honestly. And the best bit, at least for me, it turned into something me and my dad do together, instead of sitting in different rooms and staring at screens. Now we're both in here arguing about why the printer sounds weird, which is kinda nice. So here's the actual point of this whole video. If you came here expecting, just tell me the best printer for kids. That's not really how this works. A 3D printer isn't a toy you chuck in their rooms and forget about. It's more like a hobby, or a tool, or a tiny workshop that lives in your house. It takes up space, it takes time, it takes a bit of learning, and at the start, it takes a bit of you as well. But if your kid likes building things, or fixing things, or figuring stuff out, this is honestly brilliant. I went from begging dad to press buttons to running the whole thing myself in a few weeks. So you don't need some special kids printer. Those are usually just cheap and annoying. You just want a normal, decent printer that works properly and doesn't fight you every 5 minutes. Something reliable, something simple, something you won't hate after a month. This Snapmaker is one of those. It's solid, it's easy to use, and it doesn't feel like a toy. But whatever you pick...
And if you want to pick something else, I've got videos live on my channel, please check those.
But whatever you pick, now you actually know what living with one of these is like. So when your kid asks for a 3D printer, at least you know what you're going to say yes to.
Right, I'm stealing the mic back. So, Ellie, I want to say thank you ever so much for that. I'd say for a first try, you absolutely nailed it. Anybody who's still watching, guys, please let us know in the comments, how did she do? But here's the quick, boring parent bit from me. Before anyone complains, she wanted to make this. I wanted to make it with her. And you know what? We had fun doing it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently choking her so she can't argue. I want to say a huge thanks to Snapmaker for sponsoring this video, so obviously please consider their printer. We have a review online, I'll link that down in the comments, along with putting an affiliate link to that printer. But if you are looking for a 3D printer for a kid, then it's the same as looking for a 3D printer for yourself. It's about the features, and I've got a separate video comparing the best 3D printers of the last year, compare that to anything new that's come out. So if this helped or you just enjoyed it, please give it a like, click subscribe, all the usual YouTube nonsense. A big thank you to our channel members, as always, who are on screen now. You lot basically fund the chaos around here. They get access to early videos, behind the scenes stuff, Discord access, names in the credits, you know the deal. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the hype button if you're on a mobile. We genuinely appreciate it. Right, go on Els, sign us off.
Eat your damn pie. FauxHammer out. I love bunnies.